All right, welcome back to another Friends by Film. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel.
I'm one of your other hosts, Tyler. Nice to see you guys.
Yeah, thanks for watching and subscribing. I wanted to also mention that we're also on any podcast format, so any audio format if you can't watch the videos. We're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play. Anywhere podcasts are available, you can watch or you can listen to our show.
Awesome.
All
By the way,
right.
I just want to let you guys know back there, I have my camera switched on this way, so I pointed to you guys, but the camera's right there. So I see you.
Yeah, mine's above me, so I'm like looking at the
Yeah.
screen below, so I'm not like falling asleep. But the hat is off today, so the hat hair is alive.
Looks
So
good, man.
there was huge news that came
Sporting it.
out a couple days ago. I think Deadline broke it, where HBO Max, not only are they releasing Wonder Woman 84 is coming soon, right? No, 84.
Yeah. The prequel. Maybe there's a comic prequel.
84 is going to be out Christmas Day in theaters and on streaming on HBO Max. They've also announced, HBO Max has announced that they're going to release their whole 2021 slate in theaters and also on streaming. This is a huge deal to me, considering I went to the movies over 100 times last year in 2019.
Yeah, I didn't count how many times I went to the theater, but I think you know me pretty well. I prefer the movie theater experience anytime I see a new release.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's game changing, dude. I wasn't as like shocked when I found out Wonder Woman 84 was going to be streaming simultaneously. I mean, yeah, it kind of was, I guess. It's a big deal. But, with 2020 being the year it is, man, nothing surprises me.
That's true.
So
they could, and it's going to be, they say it's going to be a 1-year thing, but if everybody watches on streaming and they make a lot of subscribers, it's going to stay permanent.
Oh yeah, man.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts, man? I mean, yeah, with the decision, like, what are your thoughts? What were your general thoughts initially, and then what are your thoughts now?
Man, so I'll give you an example. April 2019 was like a huge month, and Game of Thrones is ending, and Cobra Kai was coming out, and it was like the WrestleMania.
Avengers Endgame, man.
Exactly. So that was like the month of the nerd for me. So nothing beats going to an opening Marvel Thursday night first screening at the Warren Theater in Wichita, Kansas, IMAX, packed house, and Avengers Endgame. And it's like, it was like going to a sporting event, man.
Dude,
the reaction,
exactly.
The crowd, it's the sound, the visuals, the epicness. Like, we're gonna miss that. We're gonna miss that when we get the Matrix 4, or we're gonna miss it when we get Dune, or we're gonna miss it when we get Wonder Woman 84. Even we're gonna miss that spectacle, that community feeling, which is why we started this podcast too, because of the community feeling. Yeah, that's my thoughts. I feel like the theater experience is so hard to duplicate at home. It's like impossible.
It is, man. I mean, I think you can replicate it as best as you can. It's just not the same, man. So, at one point in time, I know you've gone to film school. That was something that I was considering, and I was just kind of doing like a mock personal statement. And to this day, it still rings true. Honestly, the movie theater, the actual space, it's like a sanctuary. It's very meaningful in the sense that it's a place where people gather, almost like church, man. People gather.
Oh yeah.
And they witness something specifically made to be shared to the masses. And so you get to experience that physically with a large group of people gathered together, the masses, at least for that particular time, and just witnessing something grand, spectacle, or meaningful in terms of story and its scope. And so I think when I heard that, man, I saw that on my news feed, and I just put like a wow, reaction to that, and I was just like, whoa, their entire like AAA catalog for 2021. I mean, what do we got? We got Dune, Denis Villeneuve. I wonder what his thoughts were on that. Then you have Matrix 4. I think you got like Tom and Jerry, which I guess we can go into that. I mean, that's
Well,
probably
Dune and Matrix 4 alone, that's like what, 400 million in
yeah,
budget.
that's their big budget films, man. There's another one out there that
The Suicide Squad.
And you got Godzilla and like King Kong.
Yeah, and the Suicide Squad. I think they pushed the Batman to 2022 because of this.
Okay, I know that had been pushed, but I don't know if it was related to this. But man, it's just, I just thought to myself, damn, man, I'm still gonna go to the theater because of where I stand and how I want to watch movies. So I'm still gonna go to the theater. But yeah, man, I mean, it was just like, whoa, that's game changing, man.
Are you going on Christmas?
So I wasn't as big of a fan of Wonder Woman. Right. So I'm probably not going to run to the theaters for that one. I don't have HBO Max at this particular point in time. Either. So yeah, I'll catch it whenever, but I would encourage people who are, like myself, like you, who love the theater experience to go check it out in the theater.
Yeah. Try to support the theaters.
Yeah. I don't think this is going to spell the end of theaters overall. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't either. I think it's going to kind of change, where it's not going to be, they're not going to show the Lighthouse anymore or Uncut Gems. They're going to show the big budget blockbuster spectacles, and they may charge more. They may charge more for the IMAX format. They may charge $30 to go see it, or something like that.
My thoughts are, and this is something that you can probably relate to because you've lived here in Wichita, Kansas. Is there's years back, there was a theater chain that was owned, privately, and then it was sold and it became a part of Regal. So we have the Old Town Theater Warren, right? It's still in existence. It's currently shut down just because of COVID-19, the pandemic. But dude, it wasn't like the best like quality in terms of screen, but I enjoyed the experience of, sitting down, ordering food, being amongst family in an entirely different setting that was basically meant for others to gather.
Right.
And so I think going forward, theaters are not going to die. I don't think they're going to die. We might see less theaters.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to need to see theaters really take on more of that. We need to create experience. We need to be like a restaurant. People could cook the food at home, but people go to restaurants for the aesthetic. They go to restaurants for the process, just being outside.
Going on dates. Going on dates, first dates are usually dinner and movie.
Absolutely, man. And so I think theaters are going to have to be very inventive and adapt, but I think they're going to have to sell that experience even more. So I can see where maybe we're going to get, less theaters. So like, for instance, here in Wichita, we have a mall theater. I don't even know if that's going to survive. They're going to have to really, funnel a lot of their money in creating an experience unlike anything you can experience.
Yeah, that was also under the Regal brand, if I remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and the independent houses are going to hurt too, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think you're going to see. I think some of them are going to thrive because they're going to be those specialty. Hey, we're going to show the Lighthouse. We're going to show those films. So I think they're going to probably survive on that niche indie kind of market. But yeah, I don't think. Some people are saying, "Oh my gosh, this is the death of movie theaters." I don't think we're gonna see movie theaters go away. We're just gonna see them a lot differently.
This is the first blow, though, because I could see Disney following suit, and I could see Paramount following suit.
Well, I mean, there's right now. I mean, think about it. Our Christmas Day, we're gonna get Soul, a really big Pixar film, right? We're getting that exclusively streaming. I don't know. Are they releasing that in theaters? I can't even recall.
I don't. It's probably like the Mulan model, right? Is it going to be $30 on top of the subscription?
No, actually, it's no extra premium. It's just going to be streaming exclusively.
Yeah, so they learned from that then.
Yeah. No, I think streaming is definitely not go. It's not going anywhere. It's growing. There's going to be, books about the streaming wars. I mean, we're kind of in that right now. in terms of just where we're at with HBO Max. You know, you have Netflix, you know, Amazon Prime. But yeah, man, I think the way I kind of think about it is like sporting events, right? You know, people love going to, you know, the actual stadium and actually witnessing,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the actual teams play against each other. Now, I'm okay with being in the comfort of my own home on a big screen and watching that unfold, but there's just something about being there. And so I really think movie theaters are going to have to, like, you know, really just focus on that experience. Like, there's something about movies, this, that process, the being there. And, you know, we lived, you know, with you being here in Wichita too, you know, there was like it was almost a spectacle, you know, the aesthetic, old Hollywood, the marquee, the glowing lights, you know, the neon. You know, theaters are going to have to put more money into aesthetics and into being innovative with experience. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how it plays out. This is definitely just the beginning.
Oh yeah.
And you know, I went so many times last year to the theaters, and a high percentage, most of the time, the most. How many times did you see? What was the movie you saw the most in theaters last year?
Last year,
Do you
let's
remember?
see. Oh, it's actually Midsummer. It's probably
Really?
Midsummer. I think I saw that. I might have seen that 3 times, maybe twice, maybe twice. I saw a lot of movies that I can think of, and this year I think about, gosh, I really can't think of I mean, I can think of movies now, but I just when I go to the movie theater, I can remember, and Chris Stuckman, I watched his recent commentary, talks about he can remember who he was with,
Yeah,
where
there's
he
that
was
too.
sitting in the theater. You know, I can recall those things. Like when I saw Midsummer for the first time with one of my brothers, I remember I was getting my oil change. We went to the theater. That was a long movie, so I had time to wait. But man, I remember walking out of that theater, man, just feeling depressed, you know, and like
Yeah,
talking about it with him, going to Chipotle across the street. Like, you know, I remember, you know, yeah, everything about that. And it's just like, man, I can't recall a moment where I'm like, oh, I'm at home, I'm just sitting on the couch, you know, like, no, there's just something about being able to break the mundane nature of being at home and just going to something like an event. Going to the
I
theater
know
is an event.
it is. You're absolutely right. You hit it on the button though. Like it's you have that experience who you were with at the time. It's like a time capsule.
It is,
You
man.
see that little ticket you saved. I used to save my tickets.
Ticket stubs, man.
I still have ticket stubs somewhere. Or I'll see the movie. I'm like, oh, I remember that. It was a crappy date, or it was a good experience, or
Yeah,
you know, it
that was
was
a horrible
whatever.
blind date.
I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood 7 times, and I saw it on like 4 different formats. I saw it
That's
in like
incredible, dude.
the Warren 21 Plus 2D. I saw it in IMAX like 3 times because when they re-released it in IMAX, I was like, I have to go.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And there's something about, God, seeing it in IMAX, you know. I saw Tenet earlier this fall, and yeah, when I went to the theater, man, you know, the whole thing about Tenet, it was basically being, you know, called as the resurgence of the movie theater experience. This is going to bring people back, dude. I saw it with my brother, and there was like, out of like a stadium where at least 200 people could sit. There was only like 10 of us. It was crazy, man.
Yeah, I think that's part of the why they not only because HBO Max wants subscribers and their money back in some
Yeah,
format, and they have
it's
all
at
this
the end of the day, it's a business.
all this backlog of movies too, all the content backlog. They want to get it out, and people are going to be hesitant to go to the theaters next year. They
Yeah.
just are because of COVID and not everybody being vaccinated. Whatever's going to happen, they're going to be the last thing they want to do is go to the movie theater.
Hmm.
So I
You
mean,
know,
it
I
makes
think,
sense to me.
yeah, and I think you can look at it in the positive sense. You know, you're going to be able to share these films with people. You know, guys, at the end of the day, it's the film, it's the movie. We're talking more about, you know, like the experience, which is as important, I think. But yeah, no, I mean, the thing I like about streaming is that you're going to be able to reach masses. You know, you're going to reach, you know, people. I mean, I don't know. Do you think HBO Max is going to hike up their prices?
I do. I think they'll go to $20
I can
eventually.
see that too, man. $20 a
Because
month.
you think about it, I don't know how many subscribers they have now. It's like $15. You're still not gonna get your money back like you would in a theater the first 4 weeks.
And they're
Is
cutting
it?
the middleman with that too. I mean, you're just doing
That's
it
true.
straight to
That's true
home.
too. They're not getting that. Theaters aren't getting that cut. But still, I think if it's 15 a person, it's different than 15 per family.
Yeah. I also agree they're going to hike up the prices. I think 15 to 20 is a bit dramatic. They might lose some subscribers. I doubt they'll lose a lot, but I can see it at least, bumping up to like an extra $2,
Yeah, I think right now it's at 14.99.
Yeah, I think 14.99
Yeah,
or, and I don't know how this would work, but you put an option where you have like, okay, well, I know not, at least not Wonder Woman 84, but something like Dune, there's going to be a $5 surcharge, I don't know.
here's the thing too. I know Wonder Woman 84 will go away after the first month, and then it'll
Okay.
sit. It'll sit, then come back on either physical or streaming. Normal course of time.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other movies are going to do the same thing. They'll be on the streaming site for like a month, and
Okay.
then they'll be out, on physical. But
Yeah.
I don't think that
It's
matters too
crazy, man. I
much.
mean,
But
I love my physical media. If I look back here, I
yeah,
love collecting.
do you think this is going to take a hit on physical media too?
I don't think physical media is going anywhere. I think it's going to change too. I think there's going to be probably less So, like for instance, I'm going to go ahead and pull out. Okay, so Warner Brothers feature. I haven't opened it yet, but 2001: A Space Odyssey, great movie. If you guys haven't seen it,
I
very very
saw it in
experiential.
IMAX. I went and saw the
Oh,
re-release.
awesome, man. But you
Yeah,
have a movie like 2001: A Space Odyssey, right? So whether it's back catalog or whether it's a new release, I doubt we're going to have like millions and millions and millions of these being produced. I think the way it's going to go, and I wouldn't be opposed to it. It's going to obviously you're going to have to deal with scalpers, but you create limited runs, right? So like for instance, like there's only like maybe like 10,000 of these out in existence. I can see that. I can see that happening where, like, let's just say Wonder Woman 84 is released on physical. I doubt it's going to happen anytime soon. But let's just say, we're going to create a run of only like 20,000. And so, you're going to have to be very proactive, and it's going to alert the collectors, be like, oh, shit, I can't sleep on this. I need to go kill it
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I could see that. Like the steel books are sometimes, and also like I
Yeah.
think Arrow does that too, where their titles are only put out a couple years and then they go away.
Yeah, they go out of print, and
Yeah,
then there's a reissue. Yeah, no, I see that. I see that as the way of physical media. I don't think it's going to be like back in the day where you had like millions and millions and millions of copies that are just sitting on the shelf year after year. I think, I don't think physical media is going to go away, but it's going to change for sure.
yeah. I think it's going to evolve as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to suck on some parts, some levels. It's not going to be as much fun because I like going to the store. I like
Oh, me
going
too,
to
man.
I like going to vintage stock, for example, or anything like that, and just being there, and you just kind of get that energy of, hey, there's movies around me, there's stuff, it's cool stuff to
Absolutely.
look at, and just go through the aisle. You go in expecting to buy something, and you buy something else.
Yeah, you might
It's
be pleasantly surprised. You might be
yeah.
like, oh my gosh, I didn't know Sleepy Hollow was on Steelbook. Yeah, I'm going to pick that up.
There's a
Great movie,
huge
by the way.
difference to me. There's a huge difference between looking at a shelf of stuff and then scrolling through, images.
Yeah, no, I'm the type of person, and I'm sure I'm with the majority. I mean, it's very easy for me just to scroll and just be like, all right,
Exactly, and then not watch anything.
yeah. Well, I can recall days where I was walking through a Blockbuster or a Family Video, and I'm just like, all right, I'm just looking around, But I definitely enjoy process. I enjoy being able to be on some sort of journey. It just makes the anticipation. It makes things like, oh, you can get that with streaming. Like, okay, we're releasing Wonder Woman 84, so it's going to be available on streaming. So you can get that anticipation, but there's just something about the anticipation of, like, ordering your ticket, sitting on that, and then, like, yeah, just going, getting out of your house, going into the car, listening to whether it's that conversation with that friend or that significant other, family, going to the theater, sitting there, that process, getting your food. Yeah, There's just something I would say holy about that I
Yeah.
personally enjoy. So I'll be supporting movie theaters. I'll still be going to the theater. Obviously, doing my due diligence not to exacerbate any sort of COVID-19 infection. I mean, I feel like movie theaters were doing a pretty good job. When I saw Tenet, I felt okay. Did you feel okay when you saw Tenet?
Yeah.
Where you were at?
Yeah, I was like the only one in there. There's also a video of me going to. I actually filmed me
Oh, okay.
going into the theater, and
Okay.
yeah, my tenant review on the page. It's kind of funny because there's nobody in there, and I,
Crazy, dude.
but I
That's
wanted to
crazy.
capture the moment of going back because prior to that, the last movie I saw in theaters was actually ironically called The Way Back, the Ben Affleck movie.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
I think I saw Parasite in January in theaters, and
Love that film.
then Harley Quinn, I believe, and
Birds of
then
Prey, Harley Quinn, or The
and
Emancipation of
then
One. Yeah.
and then trying to think there was something else. I thought there was something.
Did you see Invisible Man?
1917.
1917. Yeah, I saw that in the theater.
Saw that in January, and then The Way Back.
Okay.
And then things shut down. Then I saw Tenet. So I think I've seen under 10 films in theaters, which is crazy.
That's crazy, dude. Naturally, I would see, close to, at least 25 films in the theater, man. At least.
Yeah, I had the Regal pass, so I was going all the time. That's why I got
That's awesome, dude.
over 100. I was like,
and I can see theaters maintaining that subscription service too. I can see that happening.
I loved it because I would go see films that I wouldn't usually pay for. Which I think that might happen too if there's a Warner Bros. I probably would see King Kong vs. Godzilla. I'm trying to think of one that was on there, or maybe I wouldn't see right
okay, so
away.
there's like Tom and Jerry.
That's maybe I'll check that out instead. I wouldn't pay for that in theaters, but I'll check it out on the streaming.
I mean, I'm not as big of a fan of Space Jam, but I know they're having that Space Jam 2 Squad.
Yeah.
Probably a film that I wouldn't mind just waiting to get out on streaming.
Exactly. But now you can watch it day of, which,
Yeah.
The concern is too, I mean, how many apps do you usually have? You have Netflix and.
Yeah, no, I've got Netflix. I have Hulu. I got Disney Plus. I'm fortunate to have someone to watch Amazon Prime with. So
exactly, yeah.
So it's gonna rack up prices, man.
Exactly, yeah. I think eventually we're gonna have some kind of bundle system. You almost have to.
Well, I know right now I think Disney Plus bundles with Hulu and ESPN.
Yep.
Netflix, I don't know. I doubt they're gonna bundle with anything else. I'd be surprised. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Netflix were to bundle up or maybe acquire, again, putting themselves in more debt probably, like something like Crunchyroll or these other niche services.
It's going to be interesting to see if anybody can take down Netflix. And this is definitely a power move by HBO Max.
Oh, absolutely, man. I think I think in terms of the battle for streaming, you got Netflix as the top player. Disney Plus is coming up.
Yeah.
You got HBO Max and you've got Amazon Prime. So.
Yeah, I think Disney's is going to be more popular. As WandaVision's coming out.
Mm-hmm. And we still got Black Widow to figure out what's going on with that.
I think it's going to be on Disney Plus. I think it's going to head there.
You think they're going to go the same route? They're going to kind of see what happens with Warner and HBO and see how that plays out before they make a decision?
Yeah, I have a feeling they're going to do like the simultaneous release. It depends where the world's at too, in March or April, whenever it was slated to come out. So it depends and see where we're at. But I could see them trying to get some money that way. So they have stuff coming, so that they're only going to get bigger.
Yeah.
HBO Max, they already have a great catalog of titles and classics. Like Citizen Kane is on there. I know you mentioned you haven't seen that one yet, but it's on there. They have Turner Classic Movies. All of those movies are on there. So they're going to have a whole slate of 2021. They're going to get more subscribers. Plus they have HBO television, all their shows. So they're coming for Netflix. Those two, I think, are going to have a shot of overtaking Netflix. Because Netflix, I don't know I mean, they've got a lot of good original shows.
Yeah, they're starting to, you know, I think they're starting to get to that point where they're having a lot more of their original content. The quality of that over years has been questionable.
Yeah.
Probably not the best, but
Netflix,
they got that library, man. But you know, hey, recently, if I'm not mistaken, The Office is going to be going to Peacock. So in terms of television, that'll be,
Seinfeld
you know,
is
a
going to
big deal.
Netflix in January. So I don't think Seinfeld is as popular as Friends or The Office or Parks and Rec.
Yeah,
As far as, you know, the current generation.
Mm-hmm.
I know Friends, that was a big hit for them. They lost Friends.
Oh yeah, it was, man. Yeah, no, my fiance, she loves Friends and she loves The Office, and so yeah, no, she was like, hey, for Christmas, can we get The Office on physical? And I was like, yeah, hell yeah. So, but
Yeah, that's great.
yeah, man.
So that's great.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I you know, I think in terms of, you know, my overall thoughts, I'm surprised. I think I'm fascinated. I'm curious to see how it all pans out. You know, I'm curious to hear numbers and stuff like that. I think that, you know, going forward, you know, we're just going to have to evolve. You know, I think movie theaters are going to have to just step it up and really focus and hone in on how can we be innovative? How can we maintain, you know, the experience, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, you could show the shittiest film, you could show, you know, the you know, the best film. It doesn't matter in terms of the film, but you just have to really sell that experience.
One positive too, I think, from all the pandemic and stuff, I think the drive-ins have made a comeback, and I like that.
Dude. Yeah, no, I've been to the drive-in more times this year than I have my entire life. Actually, yeah. I can't recall if this is truly my first experience, but I'll never forget seeing Jaws at the drive-in with my fiance.
Yeah, see? Exactly. And
they can always experience. You can't get that in your living room, you know.
No. And they might release these Warner Brother titles eventually in theaters down the road, 5-10 years from now. Who knows?
Yeah.
They might re-release some of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm on the fence about going to see Matrix 4, but I'll definitely watch it at home.
You know, you're not a big fan of the
I am, but I just feel like the sequels weren't as good as the first one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think in terms of narrative, and yeah, I think they kind of went down like this over the course. But no, I feel like a film like The Matrix, I mean, I want to see that like played out on the big screen.
I'm excited. But, yeah, I know it does. It deserves that experience.
But yeah, no, man. Are there certain films that you're thinking to yourself that you're okay with seeing at home? Like, for instance, it doesn't have to be Warner Brothers, but like, are there certain films that you're aware of that you're like, I'll see that when I'm in the comfort of my own home? Like, for instance, like Black Widow. Is that something you feel like you are going to want to see that in the theater, or are you going to be okay at seeing it?
I could go either way, honestly.
Yeah, I think for that one, for me, I'd go either way.
I think that they waited too long to do her movie.
Okay. Yeah. What about a film that's slated to come out that I'm really excited for? Is No Time to Die. I know that's not Warner Brothers, but that's more MGM. But is that a movie that you feel like for you it needs to be experienced in the theater, or are you going to see that at home?
Theater.
Oh, same here, man.
You know, it's funny too. I think they wanted $600 million to acquire that movie. I think that was their asking price. Mm-hmm. Did you read that too?
I did. I think that was like a few months ago, or maybe a couple months ago. There was at one point in time a consideration of, hey, if you're going to buy No Time to Die, $600 million.
Yeah, it's Bond.
At least that's a starting price to talk at.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy.
Dude, that's bold, man. That's huge. Yeah. I mean, if that actually went down, oof, you know. But I'm glad that we're at least slated to have that option to see it in the theater. That's a film I want to see in the theater.
I'm disappointed that Dune is not going to be in theaters only, because I feel like that's an epic too. You have to see it in theaters, IMAX. Yeah. I mean, that screams IMAX to me.
Yeah, no, it's like can you imagine? Like I saw Blade Runner 2049. So the director Denis Villeneuve, who took the mantle from Ridley Scott to direct the sequel to Blade Runner. I saw that in IMAX, and I was like, dude, this is incredible. This is a film that is epic in scope, and it needs to be witnessed in the biggest screen possible. So,
and it's not the same at home because I've watched it at home.
No, I've seen it again at home. It's just not the same.
I know.
It's still a good movie. It's just not the same.
Exactly. See, that's a great example of the theater experience.
Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't. The film and how the film is not affected, but it's just the experience. So like, I like to be overwhelmed with with spectacle. So like, for instance, if I'm listening to music, I like to listen to it up a little louder than some people would like. But when it comes to movies, I want to be overwhelmed. I want to, not necessarily for pure escapism, but just to be affected, to be, on an emotional level.
Yeah, I want to be immersed. I want to be into the world, put into the world, and the scope, same thing that happened with James Cameron's Avatar. It's not as good at home, but when you went and saw it, it was one of the best 3D experiences still to today that I've had, because you're in Pandora. So, I mean, theater experience has really helped the Avatar series, or will help it.
Absolutely, man. So I don't think movie theaters are going anywhere. I think we're going to probably see, a shift in maybe how many movie theaters are going to be accessible and available in certain areas. I think it's going to be unfortunate for maybe like, smaller towns. I don't know what they're going to have to do, but also those kind of small theater houses, there's going to be. Yeah, man. I don't know, but I think
it's going to be similar to when they transferred from film to digital projectors. Where a lot of the smaller theaters couldn't afford to go digital. It's going to be similar to that, where they went out of business.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, who knows, man? I just hope that all movies aside, this pandemic, is controlled. It's definitely shaken up a lot of things. So I'm looking forward to being able to be in a packed house. There was something very spiritual and it's just incredible about that. So
I would say this topic is going to come back up.
It is. It will.
It'll come back up, and we want to hear from you guys out there. Let us know below what you think about the theater experience. Give us a story of your experience going to the theaters or going to see a movie at any point in your life. How has the theater experience changed you personally or impacted you? Yeah, where can we find you, Tyler?
Yeah, well, I can be found on Twitter. I can be at Tyler_Pacholski, and that's P as in Peter, ACHOLSKI. Yeah, feel free to just send me a comment. Let's get into some conversation. I'm always curious to hear what you guys have to say, and we'll just keep this community going.
Yeah, thanks for watching. And I'm at PoliPictures, which is right below. And Tyler's is below too. I can't go with his screen, but yeah, it's right below. Let us know your feedback, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.